That was for the older question. Yeah, Prashant, you can start now.
Okay. So I'm a computer science graduate, so I can add few pointers from that aspect, as well as like if you are a normal economic graduate, or maybe not only computer science, also mechanical and electrical aspects also. So first of all, try to understand why these questions are asked related to your graduation. So based on our my understanding and my interactions with the professors, why do Indian B schools give admit to freshers as well as the work experience people, right? That you first to understand. So once freshers come to the picture, they bring the like depth of knowledge or sincerity toward the studies. So suppose me and Shubham sir is going to study, so we will form a consortium, and everyone knows that there will be relative grading and whole class is not going to study. But it's very difficult to break into the consortium or the group of freshers. They always suppose someone coming from like engineering college or fresh out of the campus of any like BSc BCom graduate, they'll be more interested in grades, right? So grades is going to come only when you are going to study, not because no one has scored in the class and 10 out of 100 like total marks, people getting A, and at 0 marks someone getting C also. That is not going to happen in any of the B schools. So these graduation subjects asked to freshers to check the seriousness. Are you really a serious candidate? When you say that I wanted to do MBA just after my graduation, or just after my BCom, or just after my engineering, then they need to check that are you really a sincere candidate who has done good, or you are taking a escape from your graduation. Why it will be asked to 3+ years of work experience, guys? So just to check that are you really interested in studies. So things can be not things will not be that hectic or not details if you are going to if you have a 3 years of work experience. But you should know at least what was there in your syllabus, so you can take out the latest syllabus of your school or your engineering college or your BCom college. Just have a look that what exactly was there. So from the computer science graduate perspective, so there are four pillars of any computer science, right? You write algorithms, you make some structures. So DSA, data structures and algorithm will be important. Second will be your databases. Third one will be like any language or this um, object-oriented programming concepts that will be there. But few things are asked a lot in your SPJMR interviews. So suppose they can ask you that what is AI, what is ML, right? These type of questions are asked. So this can be asked to even the if you are appearing not from a computer science grad background, or if suppose you are going for a SPJMR interview and you have applied for marketing. So if you can see that AI is used a lot in there also. So those things are not related to computer science, I'll say. But if you're a computer science graduate, then your expectation will be completely different. So make the four pillars of computer science. First one will be your DSA, data structures and algorithm. Second one will be your databases. So maybe you can be asked like what was the difference between Oracle 9.2 and Oracle 10.2. That the exact question that was asked to me when I was sitting, though I have never worked on Oracle so for that time, but yes, they have asked me. Okay, so this can be asked to you. So you can be asked what is the difference between DBMS and RDBMS. That is the favorite question of all IIMs, right? All across IIMs you will be asked. Then comes your like some object-oriented programmings, like maybe you can be asked few things about like what is polymorphism or some basic concepts of there. Python is started getting asked also because professors keep doing learning on this. So suppose professors is teaching business analytics in the class, so they know what Python is or R programming. If you have done something on that, just have a look on this. Then some aspects of data mining, computer networks, like what is the like TCP protocol, or what is OSI layer, something. How many layers are there? Which all equipments work in which layer? So such type of question can be asked. But do remember, we live in an era where computers become very important. So even if you are a BCom graduate, don't assume that they will not ask you something related to technology or not related to AI or some what is data science. So they can ask you what is data science, right? So people think that science related to data is data science. So that's not exactly there. Make it as crisp as possible. Even in the group discussion, I'm making sure that you understand the term first, because if you throw the jargon to the I am professor, na, they are going to kill you there. So don't ever throw a jargon. Keep it as simple as possible. If you give them difficult term, na, they will start asking again and again. So don't play over smart. Be as simple as possible. So whenever you are reading any newspaper, if you find any term that you can't define in a simple term, just go to put that word in Google and just try to understand what exactly this is. So I hope you guys started reading. That's why I said take any business newspaper, and if someone is reading Economic Times is known for putting like putting lot of technical stuff. So I always say engineers should start from Economic Times if that is available. I think page 4, you guys will be reading a lot about startups, right? I'm not following Economic Times these days, but yes, that used to be in my days. So lot of buzz around startups. So suppose you are discussing about Zomato. So Zomato uses a lot of technology, or any other company of your like choice. You can just have a look and just see. Maybe AWS is a product of Amazon, right? So cloud computing everyone knows. So, but when it will be asked to you, then you will start throwing some jargons here and there. So don't do that. Have a very simple picture in your mind whenever you are going for any interview. And people going for SPJAN interviews, yes, make a note of this. Make even I'll say make a note of put some uh, code in your room that I have to make the make the things very easy, because SPJAN professors only take those peoples which are clear in their minds. So they ask what is ML, what is AI, what is the difference between ML and AI. People start throwing jargon, then they will start grilling. Or SPJAN interviews sometimes be like very simple also, but when you start throwing jargon, you can be asked like some follow-up questions also. So whenever you are preparing graduation subject, don't assume you are going for a IIT MTech interview. You are going for a B school interview. So to get the glimpse of this, if you are a computer science graduate, just go and just have a look of the business analytics or something related to computer science on the website of that B school. You will find that these things are taught in the B schools also, or maybe R, Python. I already told. So if you are going to take any elective on business analytics, these things will be there. So only those things will be asked to you. But people assume that I'm going for a uh, uh, any interview, so I should be preparing like a MTech interview. No, you know, think from the perspective of the business. The things that appear in the business newspaper is not not coming from a computer science. It's just a business related thing. So if you are asked cloud computing, so even if you are going to work in a finance, right? So maybe the database that you are going to use, so for the information of everyone, so finance graduates or people who are working in finance use lot of databases, right? So if you know that what are the, like maybe you are going to take the decision that which all databases I am going to use, or in which databases I am going to save my values. So these things will be there. So make as simple as possible. Think on simple lines. If and one more thing, come engineering mathematics is also very handy. We do have our resources on that, but engineering mathematics will also be useful. So mathematics 1, mathematics 2, and mathematics like first trimester, right? Those things will also be very handy. So this is something from my side. If you have any doubts, you can ask now or maybe later. But throughout the preparation, make the things easier to you, clear your thoughts, start making flow charts whatever you are studying. So even the group discussion that you are doing, right, make the flow chart of that in your mind, or maybe on the take pen and paper and just make a flow chart. Keep be in the habit of reading plus writing also. So what happens, till last year we have seen some VATs that you need to type, but maybe this year, if process is going to be completely offline, you need to write also. So I have seen few of the like complaints from previous participant that for first 10 minutes I was completely clueless because I am not habit of in the habit of writing. So don't go with such habits. We know that we are in the habit of typing on mobiles or laptops, but we stopped writing on the pen and paper. But this is not going to help. Start writing whenever you are getting any VATs or maybe any discussion preparation you are doing. Take the pen and paper, start writing on that. This will help you a lot. Even for the graduation subjects also, flowcharts in computer science I know are very helpful. Even other subjects also, other like mechanical, electrical also, sometimes they ask, like in any IIM interview you'll find like pen and paper will be there, and they can ask you just put me the uh, make the uh, diagram of any like LI photovoltaic cell, right? Chemical engineers and electrical engineers will be knowing this. So such type of things will happen. And graduation subjects is not going to be troubling you if you are prepared with your personal and HR based questions. But be ready with this because sometimes you are not going to be in a comfortable situation because you haven't prepared that, right? So I have given the structure for computer science. Other aspect like so sir is also engineer, so he can give you electrical and electronic subjects. So same thing we will be discussing later also.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks, Prashant, for that. Yeah. So I think, guys, other mentors are not able to join right now, but at least I'll tell you overall, like on a very high level, how do you need to prepare for like every stream. I personally am an electrical electronics graduate engineer. You can ask me, you can, you should not ask me like any questions on this, but yeah, at least that's where I'm from. So see, people, the structure that I earlier mentioned is people who have less than equals to 1 year of work ex and people who have greater than equals to 2 years of work ex, right? Greater than equals to 2 years of work ex is like work ex category. Less than equals to 2 year is like fresher wala category. So fresher ko to sare subjects, whatever graduation stream they are from, all the subjects, important topics. Now you would know better कि कुछ अगर तुमने extra miscellaneous subjects लिए which are like not that important, those could be avoided. But pretty much every subject that was there in the graduation, especially from third and fourth semester, for example, if it is a BTech degree which is of 4 years, third और fourth year में जो हमने एकदम core subject लिए हैं stream के, फर्स्ट ईयर इज लाइक कॉमन राइट, सेकंड ईयर में भी ठीक है थोड़ा बहुत सब्जेक्ट्स कॉमन होते हैं, थोड़े बहुत इज लाइक स्पेशलाइज्ड. सो व्हाटएवर स्पेशलाइज्ड कोर्सेज दैट यू हैव टेकन, दोस आर द सब्जेक्ट्स यू मस्ट be really thorough with. I'm currently covering what all do you need to cover, how do you need to cover that I'll cover in the second half of this. ठीक है, so all the subjects, all the important topics. One common question is the favorite subject कौन सा है. ठीक है, so one subject, one or two subjects you should have as favorite where you're like very confident कि यार यहाँ से कोई भी पूछ लेगा, मेरे को at least high level पे चीजें आती है. Of course they won't go in depth, but for example if it is electronics, तो diode क्या होते हैं, photovoltaic cells क्या होती है, I haven't forgot the name, like flip flops कितने type के होते हैं, D flip flop, what is D flip flop, or how is it different from JK flip flop, right? So if it is electrical engineering, then basic of how does induction motor work, what is the rotor, what is NS, how do you calculate the number of poles. So at least though electronics में they have even, I remember in my I'm Indore interview after 2.5 years of work ex, they have asked me to draw the Wheatstone bridge cut diagram. So in depth questions could be asked. Hence, but like Wheatstone bridge, people who are from electronics, they must know it. Like it's not possible that you would forget it after 2.5 years. I even remember it right now. So these are like important things to be remembered. Then they also at times look at the transcript, that okay, give me your transcript, and basis that whatever is the highlight of transcript. By highlight I mean topics, subjects which can catch my attention. So it could be the two kinds of subject: one where you have performed very bad in, second where you have performed like extremely good in, for example CG of, or maybe grade of like A plus or A. So those subjects would be the eye catching subjects, and subjects where you have scored like C or C minus, they may not be asking you like questions on that, but behavioral questions कि यार क्या करके आया यहाँ पे, क्या हो गया, what went wrong. Also from graduation at times they ask you if there is a trend, कि फाइनल ईयर में आके तुम्हारा सीजी कम हो गया, फर्स्ट ईयर में it was you performed very well, थर्ड ईयर में it went down, फोर्थ ईयर में it went down. If there's a trend, or maybe other way around, they would definitely be asking you your reasons that okay, what happened in third year, fourth year, why did you not perform well? So you'll have to justify or like come up with a story for that. ठीक है, poor subject वाला thing is something that I've already covered. People who have good number of good years of work ex, like 2.5, 3 years of work ex, for them favorite subject, important subject, and at least they should be well versed with high level of the important subjects. Sorry, important subjects. Correct. So, for example, electrical electronics. Say you do not need to cover neural networks, but at least basics of electronics, digital communication, right? What is frequency based modulation, CDMA, right? All of those kind of questions. So at least high level of important subjects need to be there. Now the million dollar question is, sir, how do we start preparing? Because there's like a lot of things. So first thing is we would be sharing a question bank which would not have all the streams in particular, but will have at least high level streams like we have aerospace engineering, we have civil, we have electrical, electronics, computer science, mechanical, chemical. So those high level streams which are like popular, we have that. Economics also, we economics slash finance. When I talk about economics, finance, BMS, all of it is like similar to me. Okay, so all of that is covered, but these are some of the guiding questions which have commonly been asked. Having said that, this is just how to get started. At least after preparing everything, you should have some answers to all of these questions. This doesn't cover everything, right? So even beyond that, you need to do it. Now, how do you do it? We have different channels for graduation streams, right? In every channel, I want all of you to just get along with yourself, form a student group, at least 5 6, and I have seen at least 5 6 students to hey for like every stream, right? So you need to, first of all, as a group, you need to come up with a detailed and one exhaustive list of topics that is there in your graduation stream. For example, let me share my screen, and maybe that will make things very clear. Just let me know, guys, if my screen is visible to you.
It's
Anyone?
visible.
It's visible? Great, yeah. Perfect. So, for example, this is electrical slash electronics wala group, okay? So we'll give you at least some guiding questions, but the most structured format is, as a group, you come up with an exhaustive list of topics that okay, these are the list of topics that is there in your stream. You don't need to do it. Just do the pain of scrolling to the top, because I have added you in the same graduation groups of last year. So the way this worked is, these are the total chapters or like total high level topics that are there in the electrical electronics. Similarly, I think there would be at least some guiding topics in like every stream. You just have to scroll to the top and you'll be able to figure it out. Once that is done, you have to start assigning topics to yourself. So for example, you can see microcontroller has been assigned to Stuti, digital Arvind. And this needs to be done by yourself. Okay, so how many students you are, how many total number of topics? If there are 20 topics, if there are 5 students, give 4 topics to yourself. Okay, any 4 topics would do. Now, as a group, what you need to do is, the person who has been assigned that particular topic, he needs to at least cover these 4 subjects. So now, at least, like, rather than covering all the subjects, at least you would be responsible to just cover 4 subjects. Your peer will be responsible to sort of cover 4 subjects, and then you will have a schedule ki, "Okay, today we will discuss, say, subject number one." So whosoever was assigned to subject number one, maybe you guys can have a Zoom call or like a Google Meet call. Either that is one option. Second option is, the person who is responsible for a particular subject, he'll make notes of that particular topic, that okay, when I'm going through my books or my notes or maybe Google sites or something else, when I'm having uh, my knowledge of that particular subject, I'll just make a note, and then you would share it across with everyone. Either that or Google discussion. In my experience, Google discussion would help you better, because you wouldn't have time to make notes and everything, because there could be diagrams, there could be a number of things. Notes could also be misinterpreted. So best is have informal discussion amongst yourself. That will help you at least give you the high level key topic mein this is what was done. And plus, anyways, you all have studied those subjects, right? So it's not that you guys are on level zero. You just need to be remember that okay, these are the important highlights of this particular topic, which could be done in this format. Okay, so this is how you can do it. Google top links. Second thing is, see, if I am a professor and I would be taking interviews, right? So I would be taking it. So though I am not from mechanical stream, I would be taking interviews of students who are from mechanical stream. Now, I as an interviewer, if I put myself in that shoe, the best way I would be asking mechanical question to someone who is from mechanical engineering is I would just Google top mechanical MBA interview questions. Whatever top two, three, four links come, those are the questions that you could commonly see in your interview. Unless I myself am from mechanical stream. So first way is, hence if you divide the topics amongst yourself, the high chances are high that you would pretty much cover all the major topics. Okay. Now this needs to be done for both workix as well as the graduation. So this 9 to 10 p.m. we are going to have these current affairs discussion every day. Maybe after 10 you should block 30 minutes, 35 minutes. The daily, if you have it on a continuous level, that will be helpful for you. This time, because CAT results are out earlier, chances are that the interviews would also start earlier. January end is when you can expect interviews to start from, which means you have 1 month in your hand, right? So first thing, don't wait ki ZAT hoga and all. That will be too late this year. You can't wait for your GDPI preparation to start after ZAT is done. Second is you have to at least start giving 3 to 4 hours now on a daily basis for the GDPI preparation. Now, how do you manage 3 4 hours? That's up to you. If you have to leave job, do anything, do that. But 3 to 4 hours on GDPI preparation is must right now beyond whatever you are doing in ZAT. Okay. Then a couple of things for the graduation. Electronics at times is perceived similar to electrical, while these two subjects are different. But we have seen students asked electrical questions, though they are from electronics, and vice versa. So at least those basics of how does a motor work and at least electrical machines wale topics kar lena if you're from electronics and vice versa. Similarly, students who are from metallurgy, they are asked questions from mechanical engineering because an interviewer doesn't understand that metallurgy is an altogether different stream. Okay. Then IT students or people working in IT, the interviewers assume that you would know CS. So that's something that you'll have to at least have the high level understanding of CS. I was working with Cognizant as a developer. I was asked questions on what are the different types of sorting, bubble sorting, blah 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 sorting. How what is the complexity of different sorting? So I was from electrical engineering, but I think majority, at least if you're working in an IT company, you'll have to at least go through the high level of computer science. And hence I've given access of all the graduation channels to everyone. Okay, I think that pretty much covers. We will start sharing graduation question banks gradually, but at least I think enough content has already been shared. Stretch up. Weekend is coming, Saturday, Sunday is coming. Take all that it takes you to sort of finish everything. And thoda raat mein lead tak jago, 12, 11, so that January is smoother. January first week onwards, we'll start the PI mock interviews as well, and major live sessions will happen in January, but we are starting live session from this weekend itself. So we are thinking ki at least every Saturday, Sunday, we should have some live session covering something so that it gives you a confidence. Next weekend, we are trying to have a session on personals. So it is mandatory for everyone. जो video share किया है, watch that video. The question bank that is shared, finish that so that you can ask your relevant doubts, right? And only if you have a story, if you want to, of course, not get it vetted, but if there is any generic question, we'll be happy to address. Okay, that's pretty much open to any questions you have right now.
Uh, One thing more, so we used to get results by 3rd or 4th of January, like last year. So we are 15-day early this year. So you can expect interviews to start from 20th Jan or maybe by 26th of Jan also. So I started with this fact also, like we have seen IIM Lucknow interview happening on 27th of Jan, like 3 or 4 years back, or Ahmedabad interviews happening on 8th of Feb, right? Or maybe 1st of Feb also we have seen that. And they tell this dates just 7 days before. So suppose you are going to appear for an interview first day, first show, then your interview can be on 1st Feb also. And suppose your IIM Ahmedabad interview is on 1st of Feb. Then how many days you have, you can calculate easily. If I take out the Christmas holidays plus New Year break, then you hardly have a 30 days. In the
Correct.
between of that, you are going to complete your Bangalore SOP, your n number of forms coming from B schools here and there.
SOPs are very demanding. Trust me. You'll take at least a week or two to sort of finalize your SOP. It's very demanding.
So
So, yeah,
things are going to be out of control if you are not going to start putting 100% of yours. Even I'll say start putting more than 100%. More than 100% means I ask you to commit 1 or 2 hours, so that commitment is gone now. You need to put at least 4 to 5 hours, otherwise things will be difficult from now. I'm saying to the people, because interviews will be completely black box. You don't know in your city they are coming first or they are coming last. So if they are coming first, they are going to start from Feb onwards, or maybe last week of Jan. And for SP Jan aspirants, I am saying go for a round one, so that you have at least a boost of in your profile. You are done with the SP Jan interviews. And normally SP Jan interviews are not that much grilling, and they are going to give you a lot of confidence that I have cleared GI1 and GI2. So some preparation is there with me, so that you have a good amount of time to focus on other interviews. We have seen in the past, like, people delay for February for round 2 in SPJAN. On the same day they get some other interviews. And believe me or not, B schools are very hesitant of
they'll not.
changing the dates of your interviews. Sometimes people delay their interviews because they think that they will get more time, but that is going to backfire also sometimes. So we have seen people missing some of the interviews because they have delayed their interviews. Sometimes they delay their interview, they get the new date, and then again one B school comes with a date, right? So such thing also happen. So plan your interviews in a way so that you can appear in all and each and every interview. So FMS forms will be out, then you'll be wasting at least 3 days in fixing that SOP. Then NITI forms will be out, then again you will waste 2-3 days in filling that form. Then such type of events are going to come in your preparation journey. To avoid that, make sure that you start preparing from now. Don't waste. People who are working, take a leave or plan your leave accordingly, because we have seen that, sir, I have an office, I have a release on that day, how can I appear for an interview? Such things should not happen. If you have any release or any important works coming in Jan Feb, just try to avoid, or you just resign. I always say just resign from that, and don't hear what your manager or your company is saying from then.
Although resignation won't really help much now because everyone would have a 2 to 3 months of notice period. And
Yeah.
plus, maybe you can share your notice period wala journey. It's more demanding usually, right? So yeah, two things. First thing, avoid every trips. No New Year plan, no Christmas plan now because CAT results are out. Story would have been something else if CAT results come after January. So make sure 2-3 दिन का break तो you guys cannot afford at the moment. New Year night you can go and have fun. We'll try to not have a discussion on New Year night, है ना? But having said that, no trips. There are some people who are on a vacation right now. They've texted me, sir, I've come out on a trip for 3-4 days. Like there's only so much that we guys can, like, tell you if you come up with a text like that. ठीक है भाई, trip enjoy करो, है ना? So but make sure no trips if that is not planned. If that is planned and if you can try to postpone it, please do that because you need time. Abhi leaves, try taking leaves. Don't postpone your leaves till the last month. Now's the time. January end tak le lo, maybe once a week, twice a week, start taking leaves because now is when you would need it the most. Okay. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, Jay, hi. You're here, right? You wanted to speak about this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just few things. So I think Shubham covered everything. So hello, I'll be one of your mentors. So many young faces here. Few things which I wanted to add. There is a project which you do in your engineering. At least for the engineering students, right? There's a project in third year, second sem or fourth year, first sem. So that is very important for people who are less than 12 months work ex. You should be thorough in your project. कितना capex spend हुआ उसमें, if there is any expenditure, because it should be linked towards your MBA. कि कितना खर्चा हुआ, what is the outcome, how will it benefit if it's for a some small scale industry linked project or something. It depends on your stream, right? For me, I was a chemical engineer, so I had these implications. Kitna raw material cost lagega, and also it should the discussion will move from engineering to management side. So be very particular in your project. Throughout, out and out, you should be thorough in your project. Apart from that, you should also know for what interview are you sitting for. So for example, I'll give you a case. I was attending JBMS interview in Mumbai. So they asked me the first question the moment I said, why do you want to join JBMS? Then didn't even ask any graduation question. I was a fresher. And I said, as it is well known that it is a finance campus, I said I want to uh, move from engineering to finance. Then the interview started towards microfinancing. There is a famous author, Bangladeshi author, Mohammad Yusuf. I think many of you might know, who started Grameen Bank. So entire interview went in that direction. Why microfinancing is important? What is credit cycle? So you should know what college are you sitting for, or why are you attending that college interview. मतलब वहां जाके ये नहीं बोलना है कि दिस इज माय स्कोर सो आई वांट टू जस्ट वन मोमेंट.
So even even adding to Jay's point, so what happened in one of the interviews? So someone was sitting with very low percentile, like just a cutoff percentile in A interview. So they started the first interview. How can you get your call at such low percentile? And they start discussing only the A selection criteria, and they ask views on that. So at least have a look on the B school. You are getting a call. Sometimes even people don't read what exactly in the form or how they select for the calls, right? So do read about that college, whatever document they are sharing with you, go through them. Even if you have decided that this is something I don't want to join, so just crack this, then you will have an option to reject it. Till the time you haven't converted that, there is no point of thinking that I'm not going to add. Why should I prepare for this? You pay so much amount to prepare for all this, right? And exact replica of the interviews you are going to get without paying any cost. Suppose you are traveling here and there, that's fine, but if they are coming to your city, you're not going to pay single amount, right? And you are getting that interviews for free, and few people waste that opportunity. So make the use of all the interviews, whichever interviews you are appearing, prepare, then give that. Don't just sit for the sake of sitting, because sometimes because of you, professor get furious and they like two three people get rejected after that. So don't dig on the other opportunities. Maybe same thing can happen to you where you want to join that. So we have seen this. Have a look at the selection criteria of each and every B school, whichever you are going to getting interviewed. Otherwise, if they start asking, you may like falter, or you may start fumbling there.
Yeah, Jay.
Right. So, so just adding to this also, see, before going to your final interviews, also go through the college profiles of the professors of that college. So, for example, you can see, for example, I am from MDI Gurgaon, so you can see in our website who is for what, which professor is for which course. And if that professor comes in that panel, you can drive the interview in that direction. So, suppose an economics lecturer comes for your panel, the face you can actually make it out. तो इंटरव्यू से पहली रात वही देख के जाना कि कौन कौन कॉलेज के प्रोफेसर है वहां पे. सो यू कैन ड्राइव द इंटरव्यू इन दैट डायरेक्शन. अगर वो इकोनॉमिक्स प्रोफेसर बैठा है वहां पे तो मूव द इंटरव्यू इन दैट डायरेक्शन. बिकॉज उस दिन कुछ भी हो सकता है. प्रशांत साइड यू डोंट नो व्हाट दे आस्क. मतलब इफ यू प्रिपेयर एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम ग्रेजुएशन दे मे नॉट आस्क यू एनीथिंग फ्रॉम दैट. सो यू शुड बी द कंट्रोलर ऑफ द इंटरव्यू, नॉट वाइस वर्सा. राइट, जितना आप कंट्रोल करोगे उतना आपका चांस ज्यादा होगा. सो बी थरो, भी मतलब नॉट एवरी प्रोफेसर, बट देख लो ब्रॉडर प्रोफाइल्स की कौन कौन क्या क्या प्रोफेसर है कौन से फील्ड का है. सो दैट्स इट. आई हैव नथिंग न्यू टू ऐड. आई थिंक शुभम कवर्ड ऑल द पॉइंट्स.
Yeah. Anshika, you're also here now?
Yes, sir, I am also here.
Yeah. Wanna mention anything we might have missed?
I think it was broadly covered by you and Prashant sir and also Jay sir. But I would just like to reiterate that, guys, do not take your academics lightly. Even if you have 3 years of work ex, I was asked academic questions in all my interviews after having almost 30 months of work experience by the time I was giving my interviews. So take academics seriously, know very well about your college, and also slightly focus on static GK as well. Everything will be covered in Prepzone. They have a proper plan. So things will be covered. Just follow the pace and make sure you do everyday tasks properly. Don't
So-
keep on delaying things. That's all I would say.
So
Anshika, maybe-
I remember what happened with Ansika, right? So if you ask me from the last year mentees, select top 3. So Ansika is going to feature in that list. I knew that Ansika is going to convert all her calls. But what happened? She was working on Deloitte and she was working on some SAS or PAS. I don't remember exactly. But on the same day, I have read one article that was detailed on SAS and IAS, PAS, and Ansika. If you, I hope you
Yes,
remember that
yes,
conversation,
yes.
right?
I
So
was about to message on the group today that make sure you take one mock with Prashant sir definitely to get the feel of grilling.
actually, I was not grilling that day. So what happened? I have just read and suddenly I just clicked in mind that she is working on the same domain. So I just started asking that what is SAS, then PAS, what is IAS, identity as a service. So I have reached to that level. Even then, she was able to survive. Even I know that she has prepared everything, but that was the interview. She was not feeling very confident. So such thing can also happen with you. So suppose professor has read something, you are a mechanical engineer, so they were saying, right? So maybe whatever you have prepared, that is never going to come your interviews. So you should also need learn to understand that how you are going to manage when you don't know anything. Sometimes
Yeah.
professors start playing rapid fire with you. So you should know when to stop or when to give the direction to the professor that, sir, I haven't prepared this. You should also know learn this whenever you are going to take up mocks here, right?
Also adding on to it, not to scare anyone, but I'll just share a brief experience of my IIM Ahmedabad interview. I was an engineer, hardcore electrical engineer, 30 months of work experience. I was asked about monetary policy, fiscal policy, what are options, what is happening in stock market. Absolutely no context, no relation. I didn't mention any word related to finance. After that, they kept me asking about what is going on in elections and all those shit. And then they had a good discussion with me about the animal cow for 30 minutes. Weirdest interview. Nobody would expect that the interviewer is going to talk about cow or bull. So be prepared for worse situations. Make sure you don't lose your cool. And that will happen only when you follow the preparation process religiously. That's all.
correct. I think, yeah,
Ansika was able to answer all that because of this group, right?
Yeah, definitely. Prepzone and then the small group that I found out of Prepzone. That was my
yeah.
go-to place.
So, Anshika, maybe I think, see, you were also working and we know कि यहाँ पे prep zone के यहाँ पे schedule काफी tight होता है because there's like a lot of things to be covered, right? So maybe if you can just share कि how did you manage, because I think most of these guys are also facing it or also finding it slightly difficult to manage it with their work and JAT abhi bacha hai. So like what was your schedule, or like maybe how did you sort of prioritize things, because you were pretty much able to cover everything that we gave you. So I'm sure these guys would want to at least listen to that thing कि यार किया कैसे, अभी इतना सारा करना है, टाइम नहीं है.
Guys, तो मतलब ठीक है, ZAT I think is like on 2nd or 3rd of January sometime ऐसे ही होता है. तो once you are done with your ZAT के लिए तब तक अच्छे से focus कर लो. But having said that, current affairs तो रोज ही पढ़ना. It's not something that you can do it in 1 day or 2 days या एक हफ्ते पहले पढ़ लिया, ऐसा नहीं होगा. They might ask you something which is as recent as yesterday or something as dated as 1 year. तो करंट अफेयर्स को रिलीजियसली करो. उसके बाद ऑफिस में सो एवरीबडी जो कॉलेज जा रहे हैं, जो इंजीनियर्स हैं, वो तो छोड़ ही दो, उनका तो कोई एक्सक्यूज एंटरटेन नहीं होगा बिकॉज एवरीबडी नोस कि इंजीनियरिंग में कितनी पढ़ाई होती है. बट जो जिनका वर्किंग है, जो ऑफिस जाते हैं, सो फॉर दोज पीपल यू कैन इजिली फाइंड आउट टाइम थोड़ा सा ऑफिस के काम के बीच में, इवन इफ यू आर वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम और गोइंग टू ऑफिस, whatever 5-10 minutes you get in between, maybe you can read something related to your academics or try to rephrase your personal HRQ questions till they are finalized and kind of closed. Apart from that, make sure you have your notifications turned on for anything. Whatever random discussions happen on Discord, do try to attend it. I take a look at it. There are hardly 5 or 6 people who are participating in the discussions. Abhi chalega, but going forward, if you continue with this attitude, it will be very difficult for you all to match pace with everything that's going on. And since the results are out, I heard कि लखनऊ के calls start हो गए हैं आना. I'm not sure, this might be wrong also, कहीं तो सुना था मैंने. तो you will get interview calls quite early. तो जो तो भी छोटा भी टाइम मिलता है ऑफिस के बीच में, even if it's 5 minutes, just make sure you are doing something productive. कुछ भी read कर लिया, and have a proper plan of it. Keep by end of the day I need to complete so and so tasks. Otherwise ऐसा लगेगा कि ये करना ये करना ये करना, everything will just keep on piling and you won't be able to complete anything. So my office used to end around 10:30 or 11. So 11 o'clock से 1 o'clock तक somewhere around we used to discuss current affairs. बीच में 9 o'clock को जो prep zone पे discussion होता है that we used to attend. So 11 to 1 was dedicated for current affairs, and after 1 it was like maybe 1 to 2 or 3 it was mostly ACADs and HRQs. So CAT is done. जितनी मेहनत CAT के लिए करी थी उतनी ही मेहनत GDPI के लिए भी करनी पड़ेगी. ऐसा नहीं है कि थोड़ा सा कम करोगे तो भी चलेगा. It's equally demanding. 50% वेटेज होता है GDPI का इंटरव्यूज का. So make sure you devote your time. कुछ ऐसे specific questions होंगे तो you can DM me anytime. But अभी broadly तो I can share this only. Make use of छोटा छोटा time जो भी कहीं पे मिल रहा है.
Yes. So I think we do ask a couple of questions on the Discord general batch discussion channel, right? Which not many people respond to. Guys, these questions would not be repeated. These questions will not be shared offline to you. If you miss it now, and if this question comes in your interview, matlab, trust me, you will regret a lot. है ना? तो make sure no question, because these questions are coming in our mind for a reason, so it might as well come in the interviewer's mind. Hence, every question or like every event that happens has to be taken very seriously. For some reason, if you end up missing it, attempt that later on, you know, so that you don't mess up. And there's no tomorrow, because general batch discussion is going to be flooded with so many texts. You'll end up wasting double your time if you do events of past today. Hence, it is very important to attend the event on a real-time basis. Okay, so I'm hoping to see majority of you in today's discussion 9 p.m. 9 to 10 p.m. with just 1 hour. Last year though we used to extend it till 1.5 2 years, but this year we're trying to keep it focused on 1 year. So yeah, okay, that's pretty much from my side. Any questions, or we can wrap up?
Sambaran is raising hand.
I think Purana haath chal raha hai wo. Sambaran, you have any questions?
Yeah, that one was for the in the beginning you asked na,
ठीक है,
like
ठीक है, हाँ,
60-70 questions percent
Okay.
of the questions.
Fair. Okay. Try to finish your personal HR before 31st of December. That's the hard deadline for everyone. And graduation question bank, I don't think I thought 4th of January to be the date to share it, but I think now we'll also have to prepone things given results are out. So you can expect question banks and everything in next 3-4 days. आज रात तक at least make groups, be acclimatized with each other. You should know कि भाई सामने वाला बंदा कौन है. Unless you know each other informally, as Anshika also said, try to sort of connect offline, create your own WhatsApp group if you guys feel it, but be sort of connected कि आज अगर if I miss out any event, I can just call someone कि यार क्या हुआ था, what are the important things to be taken care of. That is very important for you. Also, to stay motivated, you would need a peer group. So befriend yourself, and yeah, that's pretty much.
Just one last point around the same lines. Guys, you will find the bestest of your friends here. So make sure you utilize this platform not only for learning, but also to make friends. So there was a group of 8 people. Everybody was from Prepzone, and we made a separate WhatsApp group. We used to prepare together. तो सबको सारी चीजें नहीं पढ़नी होती थी. Suppose if I used to read something about static GK, I'll make the notes and share it in the group, so others would read about it. Somebody was good at finance, so he used to read something about it and tell us, share with us. For work experience also, so people are preparing for Prodman, consult, everything, all those things. So we used to divide the work. So it will be easy for you also if you follow this approach, and you can easily do things. And also they'll help you stay motivated. जब लगता है कि यार क्या हो रहा है, interview गंदा गया, ये होगा. So those are the ones you go to, people who will calm you, pacify you, help you in everything. So get started. All the best.
Okay, enough of Gyan. So motivated. Any more questions? You guys ever feel any sort of demotivation या समझ में नहीं आ रहा? Just call us directly. Don't wait for our text. मतलब you can just call me or Prashant directly. If some of us don't answer, just text someone else or maybe call others. Okay, and I hope you guys have at least our phone number. We'll also share every mentor's phone number in the same sheet. But make sure at least you have mine and Prashant's phone number saved. Okay, great guys. Okay, see you at 9 p.m. Bye bye.